Above, in today's session, we saw the Euro USD consolidating closer to the 1.22 level. And after the start of US session, we are seeing renewed buying there. And right now, it is trading well above 1.22. I think to be precise, it is somewhere closer to 1.223. And there is a possibility that it might go on to rise past the immediate swing high established in the prior rally closer to 1.225, and in due course of time it can even try to climb towards 1.23. So in today's session of market movers, we will be looking at the possible trading opportunities which might arise in today's session as well as in next couple of sessions. We will see how the price trajectory is likely to unfold. So let's get started. If you consider the data docket for the day, there are not many releases for the US. Earlier in the day, we got the PMI numbers for the China, and here both the manufacturing as well as non-manufacturing sector is doing quite well. And we have seen that for the month of May, the manufacturing PMI is at 51, which is almost closer to what we had in the prior month. But if we consider the non-manufacturing PMI, it is even better than the expectations. And we have this reading above 55, now at 55.2. So we can say that Chinese expansion is quite robust and it is continuing. And I think, if I'm not wrong, it is 14th continued month of expansion. So that's quite remarkable. Moving on to the German inflation data, we have these preliminary readings for the month of May, and here, if you consider the year on year, it is at 2.5%, which is a lot higher compared to the prior month reading of 2% and even above the expectations. And even in terms of month on month, the reading is quite high at 0.5% above the expectations of 0.3%. So even in the euro area, the inflationary pressures are showing up as fiscal stimulus is adding to the demand, and supply side hasn't really been able to keep up, and as a result of that, we are seeing that the price rise is being observed in the Germany, and that's true for most of the advanced economies. And the anticipation is that this inflationary scenario is likely to be transitory, but only time will tell how it is going to evolve in course of time. And I think by the second half of this year, we might indeed see some lower inflation, but for next couple of months, the inflation is likely to remain high and well above 2%. Now, let's shift our attention to the technical side. First, we will consider the Euro USD's technical outlook. Then, we will also see what's happening in the equity side. And here, the instrument of choice is NASDAQ. Let's start with the Euro USD's technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and here we have the Euro USD getting the buying back after correcting towards 1.215. In a Friday session, we had these sharp moves on both sides. First, it decelerated, and after touching 1.215, it climbed back in no time. And in today's session, after spending time closer to the Friday's close, we have this renewed buying, and it looks like this high established in the last week is like to be breached in coming days, if not today. And I think it will be better for us to start looking for the buying opportunities. And today was an excellent opportunity during the initial hours of the US session. And now, if you have missed out on that, I think even after this rise, we can indeed look for some correction, if not straight away, not market order. And as long as it is holding well above 1.22, we can be quite hopeful of the continued upward momentum in the Euro USD. So if we have to watch out for some key levels going forward, I think 1.22 is going to be crucial. And as we have this extended consolidation, if we overlook this correction and then reversal, we can see that 1.22 has been a strong base for the Euro USD, and now that we are getting a breakout on the higher side, I think this is the immediate price area which can be considered as a marker. So as long as price action remains above it, we can be continuing to look for the buy opportunities, buy trades, and in course of time, the targets can be achieved even if we keep it closer to 1.23. So if you want to go for the trade in today's session, I would say that this convergence area of 100 and 200 SMA, which is there around 1.2 to 1, can be used as a base on the lower side. And if we are fortunate enough to see further correction from the current levels, right now the Euro USD is trading closer to 1.2 to 3. So we will need a correction of 15-20 pips from the current levels, and it should hold well above these convergence zone, and only in that scenario I think we can be quite hopeful of the continuation of this upward momentum in near term, and the immediate target will work out closer to this prior swing high, which is there around 1.225, and the stop loss can be kept just below the day's low. The stop loss anywhere closer to 1.218 should serve our purpose, and if the price doesn't really break below that price area, I'm quite hopeful of the continuation, and the probability is quite good. So that's the take on the Euro USD. Moving on to the equity side, we have this consolidation happening in the NASDAQ for last 4 or 5 days. The range has been quite narrow, and as I remember rightly, I had done a session, I think in last week, where I had talked about the possibility of the NASDAQ eventually going towards the prior swing high of 14,000, and that possibility still remains good. And if we consider the immediate price action, I think some correction can indeed take place. And if that happens, and if we see the Nasdaq getting anywhere closer to 13,500 or near about, I think that will be a good opportunity for the swing traders. If you want to go for a big trade, the medium term trade, then the price area closer to 13,500 is going to be significant level to watch out for. And if you are looking for purely intraday trades, then that is going to be a bit difficult as the range has been narrow, and unless and until we have breakout with sufficient price momentum, I think it will be a difficult trade to figure out. And in near term, I'm expecting some correction, maybe 50, 100 points. And since the price band remains narrow, it will be a difficult call in today's session itself. But from medium term perspective, I'm quite confident as long as 13,500 holds, we can be hopeful of the continuation of this upward momentum which we have observed for last couple of weeks, and in due course of time the prior swing high, the all-time high, can be retested again. So if you want to look for the trading opportunity, we can consider this immediate consolidation phase as a sign of the fatigue after this substantial move which we had seen in the prior weeks. So some correction can't be ruled out, and this immediate swing low, which is there around 13,400, can be utilized as a stop loss zone. So some correction, if it happens, then I think that will be a good development for us for finding the new trading opportunities. And if we want to minimize our stop loss, minimize our risk, then we can keep looking for trading opportunities closer to these 200 SMA. So here some correction is expected from the current levels, and on the lower side we do have the support in form of this 200 SMA as well as this prior swing low. And if we see that this correction does happen, and after that if the consolidation happens, and as and when we will have fresh buying momentum coming back, we can look to initiate the buy trade. So let's see how the price action will unfold in today's session. And in another scenario, if we don't really see any significant momentum, even in today's session, in that scenario, I think the probability will be quite strong that in due course of time, the NASDAQ might even try to rally from the current levels without any significant correction. But even in that scenario, these immediate swing lows should hold. So the NASDAQ shouldn't really break past these immediate support. They're about the price area of 13,600, and even if it breaks, then on the lower side, it should find support above this immediate swing low. And only in that scenario, the buy trades should be taken. Otherwise, if the price continues to drop, then I think it will be better to simply sit on the sidelines. And I'm not really in favor of shorting on the current levels, and that's the reason I'm waiting for a correction to happen, and that is going to provide us the better risk reward ratio, and of course the probability of ending up in profit will also be a lot higher. So that's my outlook for the NASDAQ. And if any of you have any idea or any query to share, you can write to me in the feedback, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with the trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you next time. Do subscribe to the Ducoscopy webinar channel to stay updated on market developments. Goodbye.